Hello there. At some point in life, we need to press the pause button, take stock, and rethink our next steps. This is a transition period where we inquire and investigate our journey so far in the quest to find something different, something more fulfilling and satisfying. My name is Lucas Maranga, and this is Angie's transition story. Welcome.
Quit, and something will come up. I had a good job at the time, but it wasn't fulfilling. I wasn't happy, and I couldn't see the growth within. And I stopped to ask myself, okay, so now what? I knew if I wanted to, I could probably go back to school and propel myself in the HR world. But again, I asked myself, is that really, really what you want, Angie? And so those questions kept niggling at me. What am I going to do after Knight Frank? Because mine wasn't a factor of age, it was more of career. Because, I mean, the questions that would come up is, Angie, but you're in a good job, you're in a good place. Why are you feeling this?
Don't rock the boat.
Yeah. You know? So it was more a factor of career and what I was doing. Definitely was a personal crisis for me. Because my husband was at his peak in his career. My daughters were now going into boarding school. So suddenly I'm like, wow, where does that leave me? I am unhappy, I want to move on, but I don't know what I want to move on to do. So it definitely was a personal crisis for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I had several heart-to-heart conversations with my husband, and I told him exactly what I was going through. And he acknowledged that actually, you know, if you need to move on, you need to move on. He only asked me one favor. Could you just give it a couple of years? Let us just stabilize financially, and then I will be in a position to take care of the family. And as you pursue these uncharted waters. And that gave me a lot of peace because it gave me time to now think, okay, Angie, you sort of have some time. Yes, you'll work. Be the best at what you're doing currently. But at the same time, this is a time for you to start thinking. Start mulling over. What is it I can do once I leave Knight Frank? You know? And honestly, I would say the seed of what was next for me was planted way back in 2007. And it came by way of just scrolling the internet and just seeing this thing organizing, because that's who I am. That's my OCD-ness. And I'm like, wow, okay. And it got parked because life continued. But it was there. When I finally decided, okay, I'm quitting, I said, okay, this is it. You have to do something about it.
Pause. Did you quit at the Jubilee?
I did.
Oh, so you actually achieved that.
Just before the end of my Jubilee, I gave in my resignation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the back of my mind, I was like, okay, this is it. This is it. But as we talk about it being a journey, towards the end of my term where I was working, I decided to see a coach. And the coaching sessions was all about overcoming that fear and also just her telling me to give myself permission to explore this thing that I'm perhaps thinking about. Around about the same time, and I can't say exactly when, I read the book Halftime by Bob Buford. And gosh, there it was again. Significance, fulfillment, purpose, all of that. So all these things were just ringing through my head and giving me a bit of a pathway to how I was going to proceed. Coaching showed me that, one, I'm worthy of my next step. I'm capable of my next step. It helped me overcome my fears. You know how you do those exercises of looking yourself in the mirror? Those ones. I did all of those.
Yeah.
And then she helped me explore. Let me jump a bit. In that book, it talks about what would you do for the rest of your life and never be paid for. And I explored that. And that became my next move. And that became the thing she said, actually, Angie, you can do something with this. And that's what she helped me see, that indeed I can do something with this OCD-ness of mine, as I called it.
Okay.
You know, the easiest way for me to explain what I do is by example. The examples of some of the work that I've done. My first paid organizing job was this lady who had just come back from the UK and came back straight into a job and back to school. And she's like, Angie, my place is a mess. I can't find my important documents. I can't, please help me. And I got to know her through my big sis. The big sis who told me by your jubilee year quit. She's the one who referred me to her. And so I sorted that out for her. And for her, she's like, wow. When she came and found her desk and all her documents, she's like, wow, now I can work. Now I can work. Another one, and here's a transition one. One of my favorite clients who remains a client over the past 5 years. And her kids all left home and don't live in the country. And she's one of these high-flying ladies. So she has the wardrobe that befits that career.
Yes.
And she was like, you know what? My daughter is not here, so I'd like to convert part of her bedroom into my walk-in closet. Can you help me? And I worked with her interior designer to make sure that there were enough space for her shoes, space for her long clothes. You know how when you go to ask any lady, when they move into this new home, what's always missing? There's never enough space for...
Wardrobe space.
Exactly. So that was something that I did for her. Another lady that I worked for, and it's a pattern, it's ladies. It was time
guys only
to...
have 2 shirts and 2 pairs of shoes in golf clubs.
It's time to work on her mum's estate. And her mum died a few years ago, actually, and she had never been able to do it. And she said, Angie, it is too painful for me to go through her documentation and just to find what it is I need to finalize her estate. Could you please do that for me? So cartons and cartons, because now it was all mixed up with stuff, their books from growing up, their letters, their cards, it was all mixed up. And 10 cartons of documents that I went through and sorted for her. And she said to me, you know, I never want my children to go through this. What you've done for me has given me such peace. So it's those sort of things that what I do, the peace that it's giving people, that I've sorted this out for them, and now they can move on to what's next in their lives. That is what my organizing has led me to. I think one of the things I love about the new life is that no day is the same. The 8 to 5 structure is gone. You'll find me working at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night, very early on a Monday morning. And it's because I just love what I do. I just absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm always doing it in one form or another.
Yeah.
Whether it's here at home, I'm always pottering. Whether it's reading up on something, of how I can help somebody, I'm just always doing it. I'm in a happy place. The little bit of the no is that at the end of the day, it's a business. And the business comes with,
Obligations.
those little fears, of not will it fulfill me, but will it work? Will people understand what I'm doing? Will people see the value that I bring? So every so often, those fears and doubts come through. But I have learnt how to work on overcoming them. So the aspect of coaching, the aspect of talking to people, of reading, has not stopped. In fact, it's intensified. Because at the end of the day, I am doing the accounting, the marketing, whereas in employment, I'm only doing this. But in this other area, I'm doing everything. So I still need people. I still need to learn. I still need to... It doesn't stop. I mean, you read of people who have done things way into their 60s and 70s, and that's who I want to be. And I believe that's the path that I'm on. So it's a wonderful, fulfilling place to be. I think I did the best that I could at the various stages of this journey. I questioned myself, and I'm so glad that I did. And I'm glad that I listened to myself, and I kept listening to myself. Even when I didn't like the answers, or it was frustrating and I wasn't getting answers, I kept at it. I just kept at it. And so for me, it happened when it was meant to happen.